Hey Wayne, how's it going? Good night, folks. If you're here, drop a hello in the comments so we can know you're here. Connor, what's going on? Big up your Mississauga. Mr. McCook, what's up, sir? Um, Mississauga people, I'm in the house representing the great white north. Mario, what's going on? Bless up. If you're there, definitely drop a hello so we can give you a shout out. GG's Gold Farm, what's going on? Big up, sir. Who else is here? Peter said Mississauga all the way. Big up my mom. Bob's, what's up? Um, who else is here? Julie, respect. Thanks for coming. Everybody, welcome. Thanks for coming. And remember, as usual, to share the link with your friends and family and associates. Um, let's get some more people in here. Robinson for Gold Farm, bless up. If you're not in Jamaica, just drop a comment on where you are. If you're outside of Jamaica, just drop the country you're in so we can big you up. I love to have an idea of how many people are in the diaspora or even not a part of the Jamaica diaspora, but just tune in because they're goat lovers. So give me a drop if you're outside of Jamaica. Yeah. So I cook, yeah. Canada, Alabama. Julie's in Alabama. Hi, Julie. Julie, I need to connect with you so we can get you on. Um, Trudy and I were in Arkansas last week. It was interesting. Mario's in Kansas. It's cool. We got people from all over the place, all over North America. It's great. Oh, Julie had COVID. Had COVID. COVID looked like it's making a return, or it's never really gone away. People just stopped talking about it. Be careful out there, folks. I know a couple of my friends had COVID this past week too. So be careful out there. Make sure you take the necessary precautions while you're out there, while you're outside. You know, it's something that we're gonna have to live with. So let's take care of each other and protect each other while we're out there. So there's a lot of things. Okay, Julie. All right. Take care. Julie says she'll link us when she feels better. Take care and thanks for joining us. And, we'll try to be as informative as we can, as usual. This week, I want to talk about if you're starting a goat farm. One of our objectives here at iGoat Chat is to share information and have people not make the same mistakes we did, right? Because when we're starting out, we did, as much as we did a lot of research, we did made some mistakes. We did accept some advice that didn't work in our favor. Howard, big up. Oh, I forgot. Trudy's not with us this evening. She has an event that she had to attend, so she's not here. So I'm flying solo. So bear with me. I'm flying solo. Howard is in the Bahamas. Big up. Yeah. So your objective is to share as much information as possible with people and try to get people not to make the same mistakes we made. And I think that's a good thing because I don't see why everybody should make the same mistakes. If I learn something along the way, I should share it with my fellow farmers so they don't make the same mistakes, right? Number one thing, if you're coming in, starting a goat farm, or if you're even in it and you're thinking of scaling up, or you're thinking of shifting your business model or whatever, I'm going to point out some things that you should keep in mind and try to limit these mistakes as much as possible. The number one thing is do your research in whatever area you're going in. Do proper research. Figure out the pros and the cons of that area of the business. If you're going into goat farming for milk or meat, do some research and try to figure out what are the pros and the cons of being in that business. Talk to some people that are in it, that are doing it, and try to figure out how their business is successful, and visit their operations, see what they're doing, see what you can use from their facility to help you based on your surroundings. I wouldn't suggest you copy what somebody else is doing because it may not work in your area. But if you see something that you know will work in your area, then by all means take note of it. Do as much research as possible. Figure out the ins and out of it because you're still gonna have a steep learning curve once you actually start. But if you have a foundation of what your expectations should be, what things you should look out for, then you're a little ahead of the game. The second thing is find a mentor. Find somebody who's in it that you can visit on a regular basis, talk to on a regular basis, bounce ideas off. Somebody that will tell you the truth. Somebody who's not scared of telling you that, yo, that is crap. Or, is willing to tell you the ins and out of what they're doing or how the business works, and willing to share as much information with you. You have to find that kind of person, right? Big up Cruz, Mr. Davis. Yeah, so if you're going in, do as much research, number one. Second, find yourself a mentor. Find yourself a mentor, somebody who has a farm. s- Uh, you know, Try to find somebody who's doing what you want to do, and learn as much from that person. Bounce ideas off that person. Ask a lot of questions, you know, and don't be shy to get your hands dirty. Go volunteer on their farm for a couple days, or for a month, 1 day a week for a month or something, or even longer, just to get a feel of how their operation work, how they do what they do. Learn as much about the animals, find out why they do certain things, get your hands dirty, get the feel of what it feels like to handle a goat, what it feels like to, you know, give an injection if they'll teach you to do it, what it's like to dress a wound, all that stuff. Get a feel of what the day to day is. You can't expect to. I know most people be able to, like, oh, we're gonna hire somebody to do all that, but you still need to have an experience of what it feels like. You don't ask people to do things you're not willing to do. You know, so go get your hands dirty, get in the gully, get dirty, get hands on, by volunteering somewhere, if you have a mentor close by or something, and just figure it out. Now, once you get that under your belt and you know, like, okay, this is definitely something I want to get into, then once you lay out your business model of how you want to do this, whether it's meat or it's milk, then stick to your guns, stick with your gut, stick with what your objective is. Do not let anyone talk you out of it. I'll tell you, one of the biggest mistakes we did at Carver Ranch is we had a mission. We set out what we wanted to do. We want to get into goat business for the milk. Upon starting talking to people in Jamaica and figuring out how we're gonna do this, 99% of the people tell us to start with whatever you get and breed up and all that stuff. And we took their advice. But really and truly, we should have pushed back and don't really buy into that as much as we did, because 2.5, 3 years in now, we're like, this wasn't the greatest idea. Let me explain. We first set of goats we bought was from TJ, which was like 7 goats. Then the end of that year, we had an opportunity to buy out a farm, and we went and buy out this farm. 35 goats, 36 goats, whatever it is. Now we have a mixture of all these goats, but guess what? They're all graded animals, not really what our original goal was. And we felt good about it at the time, but now that we started drilling down and focusing on what we really get into it for, which is milk, we realized these animals are not what they're not milk animals. They're not giving us the production we require. So my advice to people who are getting it is stick with your gut. Get a nucleus herd, whether it's 10 goats, 20 goats from one farm. Even if you have to buy them two to five at a time, whatever, buy them from one farm and buy what you want. Buy the animals that serves your purpose. If you're getting into meat, buy nice graded animals. Get a nice buck, full blood buck or something that's gonna improve your meat to bone ratio over time. And if you're into milk, take the time to go find animals that are producing milk. Do not rush into it. Be patient. Don't be like us over here at Cover Ranch that was so impatient that we wanted animals. We wanted to jumpstart the business. We wanted to move forward. But in the long run, we're not as advanced as we would like to be, or we should have been if we had bought milk animals, like real milk producing animals. I'll tell you, I'll break it down for you. Based on the data we have, based on the data we collect from each animal, I tell you, we do a lot of record keeping. We keep records of how much milk one animal gives every day. So we know what each animal is producing once they're in the milking program. I got crews right here on the live that can attest to that. And once I analyze the data, what 3 animals are giving me, I want 1 animal to give me. So if I'd rather have half of what we have now that are good producing animals, or even a third of it, and if we had a third of them, we'll be getting this similar, we'll get more out of them, because we have a lot more animals, but they're not giving us the production we require based on our business model, but we still have to feed them. We still have to handle them. They still got space. They still take medication. They still take all of that. And it's not moving us forward as projected. Not you from Chelsea, best farm, respect. It's really set you back based on the expenses that comes with it, right? For example, I'll tell you guys the numbers. When we bought out that farm, we spent 700,000 Jamaican dollars, right? And to be honest, I would have rather buy. We should have just seek, be patient, and buy 4 or 5 good milking goats, Nubians or whatever it is, or 10, 15, and we'll be ahead. We would be ahead. So my advice is stick to your gut. If you're going into it for meat, do not buy native goats. You're setting yourself back. You're not setting up yourself for success. You're dragging it out. I said this before. Native goats will only work in a meat production if you have 100 acres to let them go and you just go out and collect goats and thing. That's the only way that'll work. If you are limited and you can only raise 100 goats or 300 goats or 500 goats, then you need animals that are meat animals that have more meat to the meat to bone ratio, faster growing animals. That's what you need. If you're in it from milk, you need animals that are producing enough milk, 3 liters a day. That's what you need. And trust me, I'm telling you from our mistake, from our experience and analyzing everything. And mind you, it takes us 2 years to go through the data and see that, oh, we're not advancing as much as we thought we would, you know? And thanks guys for your inputs here and your suggestions on what we should be doing. But we'll take all those advice and suggestion in consideration moving forward. So my advice, if you're getting into this or you want to actually shift focus or scale up, stick to your gut of what you want. Do not compromise, you know? So buy your animals from one breeder. This is the reason for that. Your facility, your herd will be exposed less to disease. And if there's one disease that you're exposed to, at least you know where it's from. You can go back to that breeder and talk to that breeder about how it's dealt with, and you can manage that. You're not exposed to different diseases, all this stuff when you buy from one breeder. If you shop around and buy from 6, 7 different people, buy 2 goats over here, buy 5 goats over there, and whatever, then you're just importing all kinds of problems into your facility. And take it from me, I know, you know, when we had the first set of goats, 7 goats from TJ, we had those goats for 6 months, whatever, never had a problem, or more than 6 months. We got to 12 goats, never had a problem. Went and buy out this farm. Within 2 weeks, there was sore mouth on the farm. There was this, there was that. So, with that said, my advice is stick to a reputable breeder. You know what you're getting. You have access to records. You can see the sires, the bucks, the dams. You can see where your animals are coming from. You can see the full lines. You can see who's the dad, who's the grandmother, who's the granddad, all that stuff. You'll see it. If you buy from one breeder, they can tell you who's who. and you have a better idea of what you'll be getting. If you're into meat, then you can see everything, all the offsprings. You can see the brothers, the sister, the mother, the father. You can see what the production is. Then you have a better idea of what you're getting. Things will be more uniformed. Kids will be more uniform when they're born. You're not gonna have, weaning goats at 25 pounds all the way up to 60 pounds or 55 pounds, whatever you can get it at. So my suggestion to you is stick to one breeder, two the most. As long as they're reputable and you can have conversation with them and you can figure out what you're getting, you can see what you're getting. Because remember, when you start a business, you shouldn't be thinking you're gonna be profitable in a year. So give yourself 2 years to build it up. You know what I mean? Because it's not gonna happen overnight. This is if you're doing it as a business. It's not gonna happen overnight. Realistically, most business don't even turn profit or get flat of the numbers until 3 years, 4 years. And then on the fifth year, they may start seeing a profit. You know what I'm saying? So be mindful of that. And that will give you time to build out your nucleus herd and start building from there. So the benefits of buying a nucleus herd from one breeder, two breeder, less disease, access to records. Animals are familiar with each other. They come up in the same system. They may, that you may buy five or six dolings or whatever, and they're in the same grouping. So they're familiar with each other. You know what I mean? You can have a better idea what their feeding program is because you're familiar with the breeder. Breeder is not keeping secrets from you. Breeder is going to tell you exactly how to feed the animal. You can have a common communication with the breeder if there's an issue. They'll tell you, oh, this is what we do, or oh, you know what, the mother was like that, or the dad that showed up in the dad, or whatever. This is what we did. You have, information, history, health history of that, of that, of those animals, the herd, where they're coming from. So that's the benefit. And I'm telling you guys, if you're getting into this, or if you're already in it and thinking of scaling up, do not take these advice lightly. I'm telling you, do not. Because take it from me, if you're serious about it the way we are at Cover Ranch, it slows you down. The model and the approach that most people take in Jamaica, or the way Jamaica thing is set up, it's really, really bad because you're getting in all this disease. You're buying these animals that you don't even know what their history is. You don't know anything about them, right? When I look at our kidding periods all the time and the vast difference between the high growth weaners to the slow ones, to the ones that are at the bottom of the index, we're looking at the 20 percentage point difference. And weaning goats are 52 pounds in 90 days. And then there's still goats in the same group that are at 35. I don't want that. I honestly don't want that. You know what I mean? It messes with my projections. If I'm selling grady goats and I set my number at, like, I want to sell average of 50,000 an animal. There's gonna be animals in there I can't don't even come close. Can it don't even come close. Morally, they don't come close. I can't sell them for that price. Well, that shouldn't be the case. I should have the ability to say, yo, if I can sell the higher performing ones for 55, average ones 50, like I should be able to average out 50,000 for everyone that I sell. So that's my advice on when you decide to acquire animals, to buy animals. That's my advice to you. Just stick with one farm that you like, that you see they have the animals you want, establish a relationship, and build out from there. You know what I mean? Here's Julie, that's, somebody who's in it for a long time giving us solid advice here. You got to know the genetics. Some grow slower than faster than others, which is true. So you have to choose a farm, a breeder that's going to produce what you want. If you don't worry about wieners and things, well, for meat people, it's important to have animal kids that are growing faster than slower. If you're in the milk, you want goats that are producing milk, that are high producers of milk. That's what you want. Um, and after that, if you establish relationship with a mentor, choose a farm you're gonna get your nucleus heard from. Make sure you select the animals yourself. Go with your mentor and select your animals yourself. Do not have the person selling you the animals select the animals for you. Select the animals yourself along with your mentor. You because at the end of the day, one, if something goes wrong, you selected the animal. But on the other hand, you want to make sure that you vet the animals with your mentor and don't just listen to the farmer. We all know in Jamaica, things can be shady. You know what I mean? One second. Mario wants to know, okay, how long it's going to take to get five goats from one breeder when you have to join a line, pay 100 deposit and wait 3 years. Mario, I don't even know the answer to that, really. It goes to show you that, for lack of a better term, it's like we're a farm fool at Jamaica for real talk. But the only advice I can give you is keep a close relationship with the breeder that you want your animals from. And especially in Jamaica, it's like it's just the way it is. You have to work with the environment that you have at this time. Establish your relationship with them, and let's let them be honest with you. If they say, "Yo, I can get you three females, five females a year," then it's up to you if you want to take it or you want to work with two different breeders. Because I feel, for example, if you ever establish a relationship with Maki and have a conversation with Sister Maki, I would love to get three females from you a year. I'll pay in advance, put my deposit down, whatever, and get my three animals a year for 3 years and build up my herd accordingly. I am pretty sure he will take that. I am pretty sure he will. You got the other people them who just like take the best money. You know what I mean? But think about it. If you're buying Mario said that now work. Yeah, I don't know. You know what I mean? I haven't bought animals. I haven't bought goats since 2019. Closed out buying goats from 2019. And to be honest, based on where we're at with the business right now, I don't see any goats in Jamaica I want. I honestly don't see any goats in Jamaica that I want. That suits what we want, what we're trying to accomplish. I've seen farmers with one and two goats, high producing goats with massive udders that I think can do the job, but they're not selling. You know, I need goats that are producing a lot of milk. That's what I need. I need high producing, high milk producers, Saanen that are producing a lot, Nubians that are producing a lot, because that is what my business is. So Julie said, I need her goats. Okay, Julie, we'll talk. I don't know if I can afford them, but we will have a conversation. You know, no, I hopefully the importation process is getting standardized and it will be easy to get them in. See, Dr. Young is here. Dr. Young says 4 liters a day. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? I don't want to waste no more time. And you shouldn't be wasting your time, energy, and resources on animals that are not producing what you want them to produce. You know what I'm saying? You should not be wasting your energy. Don't be like Cabra Ranch. Do not be like us that waste 2.5 years on animals that are, not milk producers and we're just making do with what we have. It's time for us to shift gear. Um, so that's that. Select your animals yourself. Make sure that when you're selecting the animals, you know who the mothers are, who the sires and the dams are, offsprings, brothers and sisters. You know, see, Mr. Makuk says we're not alone. He's feeling the same pain. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Yeah, make sure you select the animals yourself. Make sure you see the sires, see the dams, see the off the brothers and sisters from that line and select them yourself. You know what I mean? And once you select the animals yourself, along with your mentor that you should mentor that you trust, then you should be comfortable with that. And then after you do that and you keep a close relationship with the breeder after you buy the animals to make sure everything is okay with the animals, give them update. If you see any changes that you're not happy with, have an open communication that you can know what's going on. With that said, once you're starting and get your animals, make sure you establish relationships with a vet, a nutritionist, all of that. I think we've been over this part before. Establish a relationship with your vet. In Jamaica, if you're the feed companies, Dr. Young is here from Nutrimix. Feed companies will provide vets that will give you a monthly visit or even more, depends on what you got going on. Once you're a customer, you know what I'm saying? Once you're a customer, you can schedule veterinarian visits from um, from these companies. Dr. Young can attest to that, and they will give you a monthly visit to make sure everything is okay. If you have emergency things going on, you may need a private vet that you can call on to come in. Or if it's something that, well, if you're a new farmer, I'm pretty sure certain things you won't be able to handle. But this is where the your mentor comes in. If something is going on, you can call your mentor and he can walk you through certain things. If it's something that's a vet is needed, then you may need to have a private vet that you can call, or you can do a videotape and send it in to one of your feed company vets that are willing to watch a video and say, "Oh, maybe you should do this or do that," or give you advice on prescription or how to administer certain medication to the animal based on the video image. Gigi goes on. So if you buy the feed, you will get free visit. I don't think it's free. It's it's not free because you're a customer. It's a customer service that they provide, and it's something you have to schedule. See, okay. Let me back up for a minute. First, I want to let you guys know Trudy is here watching from her event when she should be paying attention or something. I don't know. Maybe she's in transit. I don't know. But she's here. Yes, Miss Wilson, yes, that your mentor can be a female like yourself. Yes. And Mikey, yes, Virgin, like Chuck. Why man I show but try show up my ears like me Chuck? Man, I say, yo, there's no more videotape. All right. You can do a video from your phone and send it to the vet and seek assistance that way. Um, and then also establish a relationship with a nutritionist. Some vets can give you nutritional advice, and you can find yourself a real nutritionist, right? Where they can tell you the best way to feed your animals based on your objective on the farm. What works, what doesn't work. You have to you have to have records, and you have to know what's around you, what you're feeding your animals to get the best results. So a nutritionist will help you do that. We're not going to talk about feeding programs today because we've talked about that so many times. We're basically today talking about the principles, things, mistakes you should avoid once you start in your operation or going to scale your operation. If you're scaling your operation, you should know these things already, but specifically starting. And some of these things will help people who are already in it for a minute and maybe got stuck, don't know what the next direction to take because they're not seeing the results they want. Um, I don't know, Natty. I don't know if you buy 10 bags if you get this service. That's a conversation you have to have with the feed rep. So what I'm saying. Yes, farming in Jamaica. Yes, it's important to have a mentor that can guide you, and you can bounce ideas off, you can ask questions, you can get feedback, and they can guide you on certain things. It is very important. Um, yeah, so as nutritionist is very important. The first phone call I made when we were starting is to a nutritionist, Mr. Khalil Brown, because my number one objective is to have a better understanding of how I feed the animals. What do I feed the animals? The forages and grass and stuff that's around where we were, how much nutritional value they bring, how much the animals will get from it, how do I feed it. Hence, I established a relationship with Khalil. In fact, Khalil was the one who gave me links to Dr. Young and all these people. All of that started through Khalil. We never talked to anyone in Jamaica before about goats before we talked to Khalil. Khalil was the first one, and he said, "Okay, you want to do this? You got to talk to these people." And he gave me a list of people. Dr. Young was number one on the list. Um, so, Nati, I'm not saying that you have to rely on your the feed company's vet. What I'm saying is, it is a customer service they provide, and you should take advantage of it. Especially if you're using their feed, then they should have a better understanding of what their feed's capable of doing. You know what I mean? And if you come up with a problem and it's derived from the feed, then they can bring back that feedback or whatever. But as I said off the top, have access to private vet also, right? Now, once you get those basic things down, establish those basic things to start. Once you get into breeding your animals, remember to breed for what you want. You should always improve on every kidding period. I know in Jamaica we don't have the luxury, or maybe choose not to have the. I mean, I know we don't have the luxury of switching out sires as often as we should. We visited a farm here. My friend and my friend Peter and I visited a farm a month ago, or more. Yeah, maybe about a month ago, and they switch out their bucks every 2 years, sometime every year, because there's constant improvement. The next year, next kidding, which will be in this winter coming up for these people, the kids should be better than the kids they had on last kidding season. With that said, I'm saying once you get into breeding, breed for what you want: improvement, constant improvement. You want goats that are giving you more milk, more meat to bone ratio, hardier animals, animals that can tolerate worm load more. See, Julie said yes. She switches out her box very frequent because improvement is the name of the game. So that should be the objective. And I can't stress it enough. Unfortunately, I don't think in Jamaica we have the ability to be switching out bucks that often. However, doesn't mean that we can't shoot for that. Doesn't mean that we can't come as close as we can possibly can to improving year after year, whether it's through AI process or getting a more improved buck in the system. We have to think about improving every year. And that was one of our biggest frustration on Cabra Ranch. Something we never really talked about publicly, except for the people who come around the farm and talk to us in details about what we're trying to achieve. It was one of our biggest frustration. We didn't see the improvements we wanted to see year after year with the animals. We didn't see it. Here, Julie says, if you see a yearly improvement, then you're on track. Yeah. And you have to have certain things that you're looking for, certain indexes that you're looking for with these animals to know if you're actually getting improvement, if you're achieving these benchmarks. So it also goes back to your mentor that can guide you with your breeding program. And if you're in it as a business, we're talking about treating it as a business here. If you're in it as a business, then you should definitely be switching out and looking at improvements every year and don't get attached to a buck like me. Don't fall in love with nice, beautiful looking boar buck or, Mr. Rico Suave that we have, the Nubian buck we have on the farm. Looks so nice and tall and thick and beautiful. And you're like, man, this buck is sweet. It's going to be here. No, I got to get that out of my head. Got to get it out of my head that now every year I need improvement. So once Rico runs through, then Rico needs to go. Somebody better needs to come in. Somebody that can inject something that I need to improve on, you know? So those are the things, as those are the points that I have to share with people on, share with you all on. If you're starting up, these are the things you need to do not compromise on. These are the things you shouldn't compromise on. These are the things, these are the core, the foundation of how you start. For the people who came in late, I'll run them down again. Do your research in the area you want to get in, whether it's milk or meat. Do your research, solid research. For example, we did 3 years of research, right? Find a mentor, get familiar with how goat business work, get hands on, volunteer at a farm. Stick with what you want. Do not compromise on what you want. If you're in it for milk, get milk animals. If you're in it for meat, get meat animals that give you more meat to bone ratio. When you're getting your animals, get them from a reputable breeder. Get a nucleus herd from one breeder to the most. The risk are less. The exposure to disease is less. You have access to records. The animals that you're buying are familiar with each other because they may come up on the same breeding group. You have a better understanding of the feeding program these animals are under. You get access to see the sires, the dams, the siblings, brothers, sisters, everybody. You get access to see them if you buy from a reputable breeder and buy from one breeder or two the most. Make sure you see the bucks and the dams. Establish a relationship with your vet and your nutritionist. Establish relationships so you can operate your business, your farm efficiently and in a productive way. And last, breed for what you want. Seek improvement year after year. Dr. Young, Dr. Young says other attachment, legs, milk production, teeth replacement. Those are the benchmarks. And if you have a mentor that is proficient in the area you're looking to be in business for, then they will help you with these benchmarks. They'll show you what a proper other attachment looks like, how the legs should be, you know, the goat stance on the legs, the milk production, what is a good volume of milk production for a dairy goat, teat placement, all that you have a better understanding from talking to your mentor. Dr. Young, David said, getting the goat farming, one should look at securing animals when they're not on the farm. I don't understand that. Getting in goat farming, one should look at securing animals when they are not on the farm. I don't understand that, Dave. You got to explain that. Dave, when I talk about Brady Larson and them things, that's another conversation. We've been through that. What I'm talking about is the core principles. Not talking about infrastructure and goat housing and all that stuff. Talking about the core principles or the core things you should not compromise on. Yeah, well, people steal your goat. That's a whole different. Pretty larceny is a problem in Jamaica. So that should come under your research of how you're going to build out your farm and the security features you'll have on the farm. You know what I mean? That's a whole different conversation. We've had that conversation 2 or 3 times here on iGoat chat. We've had, assistant commissioner of police on here. We have security forces on here. Um, but you know what? We can have an update on this stuff down the road because it doesn't hurt to remind people of the different things they should do to see success, especially with predial larceny, which is a massive, massive problem. You know, um, get some mad dogs. Yeah, dogs is always an asset. I can give you our top things we do at Cabo Ranch when it comes to security is we use lights, camera, proper fencing, and dogs. That's what we use. So our approach is deterrence. Give them as much problem to get in, to get to the animals, as much problems as we can. And we just be vigilant. That's what we do. You know, our goat yard fence is really secure. It's covered, camera covers the area outside and in, and we have dogs and lights. And we let people know that they're all there. All these features are there because we don't even want them to attempt. Julie says a good shotgun works also. So if you have a permit, make sure you get a permit for a shotgun for a farm. Jermaine said he uses electric fence. It's a good feature. If you have electric fence, make sure it's an interior fence with proper signage because you can't have your perimeter fence being electrified. It's illegal. So you have to have an interior fence if you're gonna make it electrical. Um, yeah, those are it. And if you have any questions or any hot topics you want me to touch on before we close it out, please put it in the comments. I'll answer any questions you have to the best of my ability. Or if you have any other topics that you'd want me to touch on, I can touch on it for you if you have any questions, especially if you're a new farmer and you got a couple burning questions that you think we as a group can help you with. Feel free to drop it in the comments, and we will try to get to it. Well, we're not trying. We'll definitely answer your questions. Um, just making a note here. So, yeah, if you have any questions or comments that you want me to explain or answer questions, drop it in the comments before we close it out. It'll be a nice and spicy one tonight, um, which is good. Not every night we should go full tilt for hours. Sometimes it's short and sweet is good. But I think this is a very important topic, knowing that every day there's new farmers coming in. Every day I'm getting the calls on people seeking advice on how to start. So this is a good one for us to touch on, discuss as a group, share information, and help people who are coming in. The more successful farmers we have in the sector, the stronger we'll be. That is my opinion. So if we can help each other be successful, that'll be great. I think it's the best thing. Power in numbers. And Julie, when you get healthy, make sure you reach out, and then we can arrange to have you on the show. If there's no more questions or comments, I will definitely bid you guys a good evening, and we will see you guys next week, hopefully, God's willing. And thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for participating religiously. Appreciate it. And we will talk soon. Okay, Julie. Thank you. She'll get with you next week. For everyone, have a great evening. Um, hold on. I think the questions are coming in a little delayed. Yes, Demby was a good show. There was good showing. Um, how many cycles should one keep a buck on one's herd? Um, I think it's a personal preference, but I don't think, based on the conversations I have with people who are way more experienced than me, people who are more efficient and more productive than what we're doing. Two cycles, if the animal go through the herd twice, you can move on from that book. Some people just do it once and move on from that book. Bless up, Mr. Howard. Thank you, sir. We will see you guys next week, and have a great rest of the weekend, and see you guys. All right. Thanks again.